Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by dark forests and tall, misty mountains, there lived a humble stable boy named Finn. He was an orphan, taken in by the royal stables after the death of his parents, who had been lost to a terrible illness. Though he was young, Finn had a gift could understand the animals better than anyone else. The horses, the goats, the sheep, they all trusted him. But there was one creature that had always eluded him, a creature that few had ever seen: a dragonhound. Dragonhounds were legendary beasts, said to be the loyal companions of the dragons themselves. With the body of a hound and the wings of a dragon, they were rare and fiercely protective, guarding the kingdom's most powerful creatures. The legend told of a prophecy. One day, a chosen stable boy would find a dragonhound, and together they would save the dragons from an evil sorcerer's grip. One fateful evening, as Finn was tending to the horses, a strange sound caught his ear: a low, sorrowful howl from deep within the forest. It was no ordinary howl, but one that sent a shiver down his spine. Unable to resist the pull, Finn left the stables and followed the sound into the woods. There, in a small clearing, he found her dragonhound, her wings folded tightly against her body, her fur as black as midnight, and her eyes glowing with an ethereal blue light. She was injured, her side torn by a cruel blade, and her wings were clipped, rendering her unable to fly. Finn's heart swelled with pity. He had heard the stories, but never in his wildest dreams did he think he would encounter one of these magnificent creatures. He approached her slowly, speaking softly. "It's all right. I'm not here to hurt you." To his surprise, the dragonhound did not growl or recoil. Instead, she lowered her head, as if recognizing something within him. Finn gently tended to her wounds, wrapping her side with cloth from his own shirt. As he did, he whispered, "You're a dragonhound, aren't you? You're the one the legends speak of." The dragonhound let out a soft, mournful whine, as if acknowledging the truth. Finn knew deep in his heart that he had found the creature of the prophecy. But what he didn't know was that the dragonhound, named Bramble, was bound by an ancient promise to protect the dragons of the kingdom at all costs. For years, the kingdom had been under the rule of an evil sorcerer named Malvern, who sought to control the dragons and use their power to conquer the world. He had enslaved the dragons, chaining them to his will with dark magic, and had sent his dark minions to hunt down the dragonhounds, the only creatures capable of breaking the sorcerer's control. Bramble's mission, and now Finn's, was clear. Together, they had to free the dragons and defeat Malvern before his power grew too strong. As Bramble healed under Finn's care, the stable boy began to notice strange things happening around him. The more he spent time with her, the more connected he felt to the magical energy that flowed through the land. He could hear whispers in the wind, feel the pull of the earth beneath his feet, and even sense the movements of the dragons far away. It was as if the promise between him and Bramble had awakened something ancient within him. One moonless night, as they traveled toward Malvern's fortress, Finn felt a surge of magic in his chest. The stars above seemed to flicker, and the ground beneath them hummed with life. Bramble turned to him, her eyes filled with a knowing, and she spoke for the first time in a voice that echoed in his mind. "The prophecy is true, Finn. The dragonhound's promise is not just mine, it is yours too. You are the one who will unlock the dragon's true power. Only together can we defeat Malvern and free the kingdom." Finn, overwhelmed by the weight of his new role, nodded solemnly. "I'll do whatever it takes, I promise." They continued their journey, growing stronger together. Along the way, they encountered creatures of the wild, brave allies who joined their cause, and battles that tested their courage. But it was when they finally reached the sorcerer's dark fortress that their greatest challenge awaited. Malvern stood at the gates, his eyes glowing with malicious power. "Ah, the chosen one and his beast," he sneered. "You think you can stop me? You are but a boy, and she is but a broken hound." Finn gripped Bramble's collar, feeling the warmth of her power pulse through him. "You've taken enough from this kingdom, Malvern. It's time for it to end." With a roar, Bramble spread her wings wide, unleashing a burst of magic that shook the ground beneath them. Finn, now fully aware of the magic within him, raised his hand, summoning the energy of the earth and sky. The battle was fierce, but with the strength of their bond and the power of the dragons behind them, Finn and Bramble were able to break Malvern's dark hold. As the sorcerer fell, defeated and broken, the dragons were freed, soaring into the skies once more, their roars echoing across the kingdom. Finn and Bramble, side by side, stood victorious, their promise fulfilled. The people of the kingdom celebrated their heroes, and Finn was no longer just a humble stable boy. He had become a legend, the boy who had freed the dragons and bound his fate with the Dragonhound's promise. And as for Bramble, she remained by his side, her wings no longer clipped, and together they watched over the kingdom, guarding it from any future darkness. And so, the kingdom thrived once more, the dragons and their protectors living in harmony. As the story of Finn and Bramble passed into the annals of history, a tale of courage, friendship, and the power of promises kept. The end.